Hey everyone. So sometimes when we're drawing a scene, it's not as easy to compose our drawing in order to make it more visually interesting. And in most cases, we usually just resort to copying what we see. Well, it's not as difficult as you may think. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some simple tips that can help you to actually make your drawing more visually interesting by using contrast. So what is contrast? In really simple terms, contrast is essentially putting against each other or juxtaposing elements that are opposites, or at least very different. And we often do this to create visual interest because our eyes are naturally drawn to things that are strikingly different. So by including it in our works, it makes it easy to create areas of focus. So I just want to take a brief moment to thank everyone so much for supporting my book, Pen and Ink Drawing: A Simple Guide. And I actually have some really exciting projects that I'm working on in the works for you guys. So I'll be sharing that pretty soon, so you can look out for that. All right. So thanks so much. So in terms of drawing, we can use any of the basic elements to create contrast. So in terms of like value, for example, we can just put our deepest value black against our lightest value white. In terms of color, we could use complementary colors, like put our violet against our yellow, red against green, blue against orange, and so on. Or in terms of shape, we can use large shapes against small shapes, positive shapes against negative shapes. All of the basic elements of drawing, of art, we can actually vary the qualities of each element to create that kind of vibrant contrast in our drawing. Now, it's really useful because it makes our drawings go beyond just being, a visual recording. We're just copying what we see, and actually transcends that. It takes it beyond. So now it becomes something where we're adding our unique creative expression, and it says something about what and how we see. So you're not just copying strictly what you see, but here you're adding something to it that reflects how you see the world. So how do we actually practice this? Well, here's a photo I took of a building close to where I work, and I thought this would be a really cool example of how to create contrast and also use it to create visual interest in our drawing. Now, the first thing is we have to look at our scene and try to figure out what speaks to us. So in other words, you have to determine where are your eyes drawn, what piques your interest, and then decide how you will actually bring out or emphasize that area that piques your interest. So like in this case, I see a couple areas, and I am going to choose the area where, I'm going to choose the area where the lines seem to be converging, and I'm going to use value. I'm going to use value to create contrast. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do two drawings. I'm going to do one in which I'll use value to create the contrast, and in the other one I'm going to use shapes. So I'm going to create two separate drawings and show you how you can create contrast using those two elements and vary their qualities in different ways. So in this example, I'm using value to create contrast by pushing the value of each of these two buildings in opposite directions. So the building on the left will have a deep value, the building on the right will have a really light value, and the deepest value will be concentrated in that area where the lines converge. Now in this example, I'm using shapes to create contrast by focusing on the mass of smaller shapes of the building on the left and putting them against the sparse large shapes of the building on the right. And then there'll be a focus of the small shapes towards that same area where the lines converge, and that will contrast, of course, with the big open area to the right of that, and that will create a nice contrast and drive all the attention right there. So there you have it. Two simple demonstrations of how you can create, simple contrast, but using different elements. Here I'm using shape, here I'm using value. But the most important thing here is that you're trying to go beyond just merely copying what you see and actually saying or expressing something about how you think or feel about what you see. So that's the key thing, I think, that makes urban sketching fun, is that you try to go beyond just drawing what you see and try to make a statement, say something. So you're giving the viewer an opportunity to see something unique from your perspective. And it's I think eventually becomes a lot more fun that way for you. So I hope you found something in this useful or informative or inspiring in some way that you can apply to your work. And if you did, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe now so you can see more videos like this, and also so you won't miss any new uploads. And as usual, thanks for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.